Good evening, and welcome to another super secret project sketch. This is Eric Whalen from Super Secret Project X, and it is sort of a very lazy day, and I have not had my caffeine, and I'm going to draw something. Darn it. Oh, love that sound. All right, let's get spunky. I guess. Today, we're going to do the second major character from the Project Echo movie, Biko, as opposed to Echo. You already know who's coming next week. You guessed it. Okay.
Charles Barkley? What the heck?
Pillsbury Fudge Boy. No, Seiko. Seiko. I love Seiko in only a way that you can love probably one of the most obnoxious characters ever created. That's actually why I kind of like her, though. Okay, check this out. Check this out. I've only got that much left in the sketchbook. I only got that much left. It's not much. I'm going to need to get a new sketchbook soon.
I was gonna say, do we need to get a new one going for you?
I think we have a spare one sitting around that I just need to duct tape up, then fill with all sorts of cartoon faces.
I don't know. I think the last one you got was that really big one that you were doing.
Yeah, that's not going to be for streaming.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
But with this one, I'm fairly certain I picked up two. So, if not, we'll pick up another sketchbook. They're not terribly expensive. As a matter of fact, I have so few left. I actually feel that in the back, which is a problem. There we go. That's nice.
Well, let me know if you find it or so, because if you don't, put it on the list to order. Pick up at
Yes.
some point.
We're going to do the thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Biko's hair is not gigantic. So I don't need to space it out like I did with Echo over here with the mega hair. I love that mega hair, but it is a lot of hair. Where most of Biko's hair is going to be down here, so we're not going to worry about it too much. Mega hair.
Surprised we didn't get a 80s band with that name.
It's so funny. I've heard people make fun of 80s hair, and I get it. I do. But it's also 80s hair was so ridiculous that it made cartoon characters that looked amazing. In the case of Biko, it's not that she has exactly 80s giant hair, it's just that when they got down to the full length of her hair, which, by the way, if her head's that big, the full length of her hair would be. And I know that's off screen. Whoop, it's huge. It's there's a lot of hair going on there. Fortunately, not a ton of it's up here. So, as you can tell, I'm not real focused today. I almost took a nap. I haven't done that. Yo, wow, that is almost Ixer one hair. Look at that. That girl's got some stuff going on her skull there. She's got some serious cranium action.
That one always cracked me up. Yeah, it's funny, like growing up in that time period and seeing people I know with these hairstyles. Of course, it looked normal, but now we look back and I'm just like, wow, they actually did that. 'Cause, I mean, I didn't do that to my hair because I couldn't do that to my
I was
hair.
about to say, black hair don't do that.
No.
Well, it kind of can, but it's got to use a lot of hair products to do it.
It can, and it goes different. Because, I mean, this is, look at, like here. Come on. I'll find you that way, you jerk. Look at a picture of Whitney Houston when she was younger.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Actually, black 80s hair usually looked a little nicer than white 80s hair.
Have this.
Unlike that, wow, that's a nightmare. That is, no offense to the poor young lady in the picture. I'm sure she was a fine individual. but that hair is a crime against God.
Hey, well, speaking of, the higher the hair, the closer to God, you know?
Maybe. Maybe. I'll be willing to hear you out on explaining that, but
That's the one I remember hearing. The higher the hair, the closer to God.
why not? Why not? I've heard some crazy stuff in the past 6 years. Why not? God, and it just keeps getting wackier. All right, so it doesn't look like I'm doing a whole heck of a lot right now. Basically, what I'm trying to do, trying to get some basic shapes down, make sure the head width is right, and blah blah blah. One of the mistakes a lot of people make when they do cartooning is they get really excited about the eyes or the mouth or a fist or whatever, and then they power detail that one thing. You go, then I'll draw the rest. It's like, no, never do that. And what I'm doing is I'm just getting stuff in to make sure that it roughly feels about right, and then I'll worry.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff, unless you're specifically doing a study of that particular part.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for the most part, you get all your details in.
Or you're one of these mutants that can just draw stuff without a problem directly out of their head because they've done it 100,000 times.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done it 100,000 times, and I can do that every once in a while. But most of the time, I'm like, no, because I'm usually working tired and stuff. So I'm like, no, just draw the thing. Just get it figured out so you're not wasting your freaking time. Because that's one thing I hate doing. I hate wasting time. I'm like, I'd rather spend a few extra minutes up front than an hour later trying to figure out what monstrous thing I have inflicted upon paper.
Lesson number 1, kids, figure things out. It's not bad to figure things out. Just doodle, sketch, play, and work it, and it'll eventually come to you. And if it doesn't, step away, grab a snack or take a break, and then come back to it.
Lesson number 2, kids. Number 2. Just because the dog sniffs your butt doesn't mean you should sniff the dog's butt. That's lesson number 2.
Right on then. Send all your complaint letters to Eric.
So what would lesson number 3 be?
Don't listen to lesson number 2.
I don't know. I think you should listen to number 2, personally, because I'm just saying you shouldn't be doing that. I mean, you could if you really wanted to, but it's just not a good idea.
Reminds me of the one picture I saw of the boxer sitting on the couch with its arm up on the armrest like it's having a conversation. It simply says, well, you know, when I sniff you, you don't sniff me back. It kind of hurts my feelings.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it? You're like, dog's just looking at you going like, well, aren't you gonna, no, bud, thank you, I'm good. I'm good.
I saw one video of a guy with his little, like, meatloaf of a pug, and he was holding him, and the dog's just licking him on the cheek and just going. So then he turns and starts trying to lick the dog back, and the dog gives him the most
I remember that. He was like,
look. Yeah.
what are you doing? Why are you doing that? Yeah, I remember you showing me that when I was laughing really good. That poor dog was just lost. He was like, what? Whoa, hey, dude. No.
That's my thing.
It's my thing. I don't know where your tongue's been. I know where my tongue's been. I don't know where yours has been.
Poor confused little doll.
Anywho, we have sidetracked Biko hard. Project Echo. I particularly liked Biko as a villain because she's one of the better comedic villains. Because there's nothing about her that makes a lot of sense unless she's just basically has the worst taste in the world. It's what I can kind of gather is they just made out every rich person in the Project Echo series to be out of their minds.
Well, when you have that much money, you pretty much have and can get anything. So it's like the one thing that's unattainable, you're probably going to be like, oh, I can't get it. Challenge accepted.
I know. Basically, that's what's happening. She basically wants a girlfriend that she can't have. And then what I love is it spends the entire movie just pining and assaulting Eiko over and over again to get access to Seiko. And Seiko isn't even interested or even knows what's going on. It just keeps going on, and everyone's like, wait, what are you up to?
Think of stuff to talk about. Well, we talked about it all mostly last week.
So. Yeah, we really did. I mean, I love the Project Echo movie, but it's not like it's super deep.
Now there was a series too, right?
Well, once you put the OVAs into it, yeah. And some of the OVAs are quite good. It's just that Project Echo as a movie by itself just simply works really well. As a matter of fact, I haven't seen the OVAs in years. I'm hoping that the company that released that Blu-ray releases the... If there is a... I'm assuming they put it on film, so hopefully they release the Blu-rays of the OVAs as well, I'm hoping. Because it's not like they were the greatest ever, but they were fun. I mean... And it is a lot of the same kind of plot continuing on where Biko's trying to get Seiko and Eiko's just having to deal with the crap on a daily basis. my favorite is in the movie there's Eiko, Biko, Seiko, and Mysterious Agent D. And then later on in the series they add just the character D, which is the boy that they're all fawning over, except for Seiko, which, of course, doesn't really know what's ever going on. Yeah, that John line's ticking me off. So, the great thing is if I recall correctly, D is only interested in Seiko again. Meanwhile, Eiko and Biko are just sidelined entirely.
Oh, here we go. YouTube's been doing a lot of like anime and stuff lately, like literally putting up a bunch of.
Who has?
YouTube. And they have Project Echo OVA1 Love and Robots available to watch.
Oh, nice.
They have a whole hour and 22 minutes.
Nice.
So there you go. That's something that you can put on your list to watch for.
Yay. I love the future.
Especially when they realize that, hey, people, you can just put stuff up and people will watch it instead of making you pay for everything.
Well, I mean, you're watching commercials, so you're paying with your time. And depending upon the commercial, your patience.
Actually, let's see, I don't think this is YouTube. I think somebody just put it up there. It's literally off of English sub off of somebody's laser disc.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, so good for them.
Piracy.
Hey, it's off of a laser disc with their own copy.
Yeah, well, it also may actually, the original right holder might not actually even care. I mean, who knows? Oh, but yeah, it's Biko's a maniac. That's why I love her. Some unholy IQ. So she's hyper intelligent, hyper beautiful, and just hyper in love with something she should never be in love with.
Let's say hyper rich.
Just maniacally insane.
Now, on the OVAs, is Biko still in it, or is it like different?
Oh no,
antagonists that come
it's
up?
the trio is always there. There's always Aiko, Biko, and Seiko. They add additional characters to continue to mix things up. As a matter of fact, what's really funny is they keep doing the same plot over and over again, but it keeps getting more ridiculous. Like, it's aware it's ridiculous, so it keeps getting more ridiculous. Like in the first movie, the aliens attack to get their space princess back. Okay. The humans defend Earth. Okay. So, big space battle, big fight the aliens battle in the city, classic anime stuff. Like, it's not like, oh my god, I've seen this before. You know, you completely, it's you've seen it a million times. You get it. And so, in like the second one, the aliens invade again, kick the crap out of Earth Defense Forces again, and then by the third time it happens, the major like military Earth Defense Force guy, he's basically on antacids. He can't do anything anymore, and he's just having continual emotional breakdowns because the aliens keep showing up and kicking his butt over and over again. And so by the third time, he literally just goes, I'm done. No, we're not defending the Earth. Forget this. They're just going to kick our butts. And so this poor guy just leaves Earth to die. And then, like, the citizens go, we knew it. We knew the military wasn't going to be a big help. And so the normal people decide to defend the Earth, and their commanding officer, which I love, is they show him in a dark office, and he's like, that's right. The Space Force has given up on us. We must defend the Earth. And as the camera's pulling out, he's the manager of a porn and adult novelty shop, and there's just like wieners and porn cases everywhere. Seriously. And it's all dramatic lighting, but it's the most ridiculous. You're going like, oh my god, that's an inflatable sex doll. He's like, we must defend the Earth. And you're just, as the series goes on, it's so clearly like they just don't take anything seriously in the series. And that's what I love about it, is it's just continually ridiculous over and over. And every single time they're like, we've already done that. How do we make this more ridiculous? And they keep just escalating the ridiculous, almost even stupidity of everything. It's just what I like about it, is that they know they're funny. They know they're ridiculous. And I'm entirely happy with the fact that it was just a bunch of guys sitting there going like, well, we've already invaded the Earth 2 times before. What do we do now? You know? Well, I think the military would be sick of it and just wouldn't show up that day. You know? Well, we got to defend the Earth somehow. I think we need a porn shop guy. And the series just keeps going like that, where it just keeps getting more and more and more ridiculous. And I mean, it's clearly not for kids, and I appreciate that. Like, it just feels like it's a silly show for kids. Like, it has that silly slapstickiness to it, but
Right.
it's like for adults, without being like really pornographic or anything. Just they don't even have much nudity or anything or much violence. It's just the humor is just so ridiculous. And
Well, it's like how you said. I mean, the original series, the series was based off of an adult series and stuff, and the characters
Yeah.
from that. So I mean, they probably kept the just tongue-in-cheek silliness of that,
Yes.
but yet made it for more more for everybody and to be able to enjoy because they probably like the characters so much. You're like, hey, why not? You know. I think I saw some of. I'm trying to remember seeing the ACO stuff.
You may have. I don't. I know we showed you the movie back in the day, but
I'm
I
talking
don't
about
know
the-
if we ever showed you anything
And
else.
I'm talking about the cream lemon stuff.
Oh, the cream. No, there is no Project Echo Cream Lemon
Well,
stuff.
I mean, where the characters came from, though. That's where they came from, right?
Well, that's the creators. They weren't in any of the movies.
Oh,
No, they were going to make Project Echo as one of the adult animated features, and then they were like, "No, this is just too funny. Let's not make this pornographic."
Oh, okay, that's what I thought. I thought that they were originally an adult title that then
No.
got put.
Well,
on-
it was originally an adult title.
I mean, already made though. I thought it
No,
was one of their, one
no,
of their
they were in
shorts.
process and went, if you strip out all the sex and we up everything else, we could put this in the movie theaters, and everyone was like, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we could do that,
Okay. I misunderstood things. I that's what I thought. Oh well.
Yeah, but if you've seen Cream Lemon stuff, you're like, oh, yeah, no, there's no mistaking that. That's naughty.
Yeah, I think I saw a couple of like way back in the I'm gonna say the early 2000s or so. I remember watching or hearing about something. I do remember seeing in the olden days, kids, if anybody's watching, of torrent and
Sure.
various websites of you would literally find like 2-minute clips of stuff on various websites. But yeah, I think I saw something and I was like, what the heck is this? But anyway, yeah.
Well, there's a funny thing about Cream Lemon is if you watch Project Echo and you're going like, wait, that's this character, or wait, Marie is clearly Kenshiro from Fist of the North Star.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Or at least his daughter.
No, it's definitely him. It was even drawn like him. But Cream Lemon came right out, and one of the Cream Lemon specials was Kay and Yuri from the Dirty Pair. And then they changed like one letter, but everything else they were just like, no, we're gonna do this. Everyone cool with it? Like, apparently they didn't get sued. I'm not entirely sure how that works.
Maybe my guess is there's a lot of Japanese animation studios and stuff. I think a lot of them kind of all just knew each other, so a shout out was kind of a thing of honor.
Yeah,
To me, it
but
kinda felt
lawyers
that way.
don't have honor, and so
Well, maybe the lawyers of that time, like back in like that time period in Japan. I mean, maybe it was kind of,
I think lawyers are lawyers.
or maybe it was like they saw it like, well, it's already there, nothing much we can do about it.
From my understanding, the copyright laws in Japan back then were completely different than they are now. From my understanding, but they're about as strict as ours is right now. So, which not to say that I hate copyright laws, but there is something about taking things just too seriously. And that was kind of the fun thing about Project Echo. They were clearly just having fun. And I mean, it's so. I mean, Marie is so obviously Kenshiro. I mean, it's not even. The alien captain is so clearly a cross-dressed version of Captain Harlock. I mean, changed the design slightly, but clearly Harlock. Yeah, I know she doesn't really have lips in the original version. I kind of don't care. I kind of feel like she needs lips. Well, she has that like simple straight line pretty girl lip thing going on. I mean, she has, but the style really doesn't do lips that much.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna, because she's supposed to be like super pretty. So I want to.
Some lips.
Yeah, where's some lips?
Brings a sociological question, like, has there been any human that's considered attractive that has very thin lips?
Yes, must be, because it's a major feature on like a lot of. I've seen it. I'll put it that way. I've seen it. It's like the full lip thing is clearly like super powerful, but I've seen the thin lip thing work. It's like Twiggy. You know, she was so scrawny yet was still attractive. So
I guess it's one of those subjective things also. 'Cause I mean,
Yeah,
'cause I
that's what I'm thinking.
I don't. I'm trying to think with Twiggy if I even remember what she looked like. I remember
She was
seeing-
cute,
Yeah.
really thin, but cute.
Well, that's why she called. That's why they called her Twiggy.
Yeah, well, that's
Unfortunately.
unless strangely enough that was actually her name at birth, but I have a feeling that's just not true.
No, it's not.
I'm just saying. I don't know that for a fact. Maybe she's I dub thee baby Twiggy. And the mom's like, oh, just feed her donuts now. There's no way we're going to have her live up to that name. And then she just kept getting thinner and taller, but now, wider.
She had just the craziest metabolism.
I am surprised I'm making as much sense as I'm making right now. I am feeling the need for a nap. Or pasta and a nap. I need a pasta nap.
Well, after dinner, you can
Pasta
have one.
nap.
You can have both.
Pasta nap. Dude. Pasta nap.
What's the, Yeah, I've just been very low key myself today. Just haven't felt like expending much energy.
This has really been a low-key weekend. It's been kind of nice.
Excuse me. Didn't mean to snort you on like that.
It's actually kind of funny. I'm not usually big on people going back and trying to make. I think the word remake is incorrect here, but do Project A-ko again. It's like I kind of want to see what they would do with it now. Kind of like I would like them to see what they would do with Dirty Pair right now and some of the other stuff. Because sometimes you get some really interesting things happen. You're like, wow, I'm really glad they did that. And then you have these other times where you're like, let's never do that again. Like there's been some stuff with like the Manzinger and the Getter Robo stuff where they've been going back to and doing like 70s shows. And some of those have actually been really fun. So I'm kind of like, oh, actually that's really kind of cool. So I'm kind of looking at Project A-ko going like, I'm not saying they can't make it anymore. I'm just going like, what would it... Because I feel as if it just wouldn't act the same way anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, well, first of all, it feels. I don't know if today, in like a lot of the styles of today that they put out, first of all, I don't know if it will even look right because a lot of the styles that are out now are a really weird mix of caricatured and realistic.
Mm.
And I think they probably try and make it too realistic and try and like shove it as a comedy thing, but it's like I don't know. I mean, if you can, yeah, I don't know.
You see what I mean?
Yeah, because I mean, I could see it working.
Because
I mean,
there are abstract styles today,
mhm.
but the Project Echo stuff was from the earlier time periods where they really abstracted like facial expressions and stuff. I mean, like I said it last time, there's a shot where Seiko is so happy she looks like a frog. I mean, she makes this smile that makes her look like a frog. And it's hilarious and awesome and all that, but you also end up looking at it going like, the new stuff doesn't exactly really do that anymore. And I like the new stuff, but it doesn't do that. So I'm kind of like, well, A, what would it look like? B, what would it act like? Because
I mean, 'cause
it was really stunningly self-aware. And anime just doesn't seem to really like act. I'm not saying that it doesn't or it can't. I'm sure somebody could go, this title, this would do it. I'm sure, but on average, it just anime doesn't act like the way Project Echo acts. Like it's laughing at its own industry. I mean,
and I mean maybe it does because I mean there's so much stuff that we haven't seen.
oh,
Stuff
I'm
that's out
sure.
there. So maybe there is stuff that's out there that's actually like that. We just haven't
Sure.
seen it. So I mean, because I mean, just with the one anime that we watched, the isekai one with the wrestler.
Yeah, no,
I mean, that's
and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that at all. That's fun, but it doesn't act like the old stuff did. It acts like the new stuff, which is great.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like the fact that there's stuff out there. I mean, that's I mean, like Prison School.
Oh, why do we not have a second season of
I
this?
mean, that right there.
God,
The sheer insanity.
Oh,
and the style.
I
of
would
that.
never give up Prison School. That is so good.
I mean, it that could like that group could probably make it work.
Well, that group. Well, I don't know if that group could make it work. Is the kind of the point I'm making is that it's sort of apples and oranges. I mean, there's nothing about Prison School that acts like Project Echo. And I'm not saying that people can't. I mean, maybe there's like some dudes over there just fiending, going like, "It's my time," you know, like they finally got into it. And they're totally going like, I can finally do my Project Echo movie that I've been wanting to do for the past. Let's see, 1980, 90, 2000, she's 30s, 35, whatever years at this point.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like maybe, like finding a group that could do something. Maybe if they have the fun attitude, they have the spirit in itself. I mean, not saying that they couldn't do it. It's just that give them the chance to try.
Oh,
I think
sure.
That's one of the groups I'd like to actually see give a try.
Oh, sure. And I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying on average, kind of the way things sort of operate differently. And a lot of that is actually good. I like a lot of the new stuff. I really laugh at some of the new stuff. But I also kind of miss some of the way some of the old stuff was done too. And I get it. The old stuff's time probably is past. And yet I watch Project Echo, and I just see these wonderful moments I don't generally see anywhere else. Like, they just have this over-the-top action and fighting in Project Echo that's still really good fights and action and stuff, but is also really just fun and silly and, you know, like it's this wonderful blend of you can almost take it seriously, but then you can't, you know, and Well, it's like Fist. Friend of mine watched the. It was sort of this weird chibi series about Fist of the North Star, where it wasn't actually Fist; it was using Lin and Bato, and it was them doing like the silly, super deformed kind of. It's not really my thing, so I didn't watch a ton of it. But the thing that they did do is they would take, and it was beautifully animated. It was exactly what Fist of the North Star should be. And they would have these little moments in the show that would go and do something that really looks like Fist of the North Star, and would just have these really funny redos of the stuff that happened in the manga and the anime. And I mean, it was not only really good, it was really funny. And so I'm like, oh, I'm not saying people can't redo the old stuff. I was actually sitting there going like, the kid comes up to like the guy's knee and knifes the guy's leg, and Souza in the original version just looks at him like, kind of like picks him up and put like, not, doesn't really hit the kid, but it's just like, this is nothing, blah blah blah, and he's like, you're nothing, yada yada, and the kid's rebellion meant nothing. Okay, so in the rework, that exact thing happens. That exact thing happens in the rework, but then they do it like the next day, and the guy's going up the pyramid. He's like, wait a minute, and this kid knifes him again. He's like, ow! He's like, oh, and then the next day, and he's looking really paranoid. And out of nowhere, the kid knifes him again. He's like, oh! And then it keeps going, like every day passes by, and this kid keeps knifing him over and over again. And it just keeps getting funnier and funnier, because he keeps getting more and more like, this kid's gonna knife me, man! You know? I mean, it was really good, and it looked like really high quality original Fist of the North Star, so it was even funnier because it was all serious looking, and him like sweating and like, ah. And the funny thing was they kept using the same animation of the kid going like, ah. So this just in general, Souza is like a major villain in Fist of the North Star. And for them to do that, it was just brilliant. It was so funny. So I know that there's guys over there that can look at the old stuff and kind of do it again. And I'm kind of like, I'm not doing that old guy thing where I'm like, old stuff is better, new stuff sucks, go back to that. I hate that. Yeah. But on the same note, I wouldn't mind seeing some of the old stuff revisited, but revisited really well. You know, not just
doing it for the sake of, hey, I can do it better or something.
And then it's changed into something else. At that point, I'm like, yeah, then just go make something else. It's like for example, all the JoJo stuff so far has just been, I mean, it's excellent. I totally enjoy it. And you look at some of the older JoJo stuff, and some of it's also really good, and some of it isn't. And I look at them like, oh, they're doing it right. I mean, they've updated little bits and pieces of the style here or there or whatever, but overall it even uses like 80s colors and design mentality, and I think it looks great.
A video that I saw, I think it was like a 5-minute video, or I can't remember, but I watched like 15 seconds of it because I was watching something else at the time. But the guy who does JoJo, he was drawing a character flat out, and it was like this big, and it just shows him sketching all the characters like a speed draw of him doing all the characters and. First it shows him doing all the references and all the reference shots and all that, and sketching out, and then it shows him actually doing the actual main shot, and I was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
But yeah, I only watched like I think it's about 20 seconds of it, but I'll excuse me.
The man's a legend. I mean, he's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, on the same note, he's been unendingly drawing characters for 85, 95, 2005, 15 to 40 years.
He's been doing it for
Eric's not mathing well at the moment. A long time. So much so he's changed styles several times. I mean, he's just a Rocky. I love the guy, but I never remember his name first. It's Iraqi.
Yes.
Yes, I feel it. Starts with an H. Oh, I feel terrible.
No.
Yes, I do. Stop it.
All right, I'll let you feel that. I'll let you feel terrible then. Araki Hirohito. There you go.
Knew there was an H in there.
There's two of them.
I didn't remember the second one, though.
Hirohiko Araki.
It is okay. It is okay.
Throat, just like I think the cold air.
I'm sorry,
I
what?
think the cold air when we were outside. My throat, the cold air when we were outside.
Oh, the cold
originally,
air.
Yeah. My throat's a little itchy and my ear hurts.
My throat's itchy and my ear hurts. You think you got it bad? My throat's itchy and my ear hurts. I think I gave her too much cheek.
You cheek.
I already know that.
It's a habit.
No, that's not terrible.
Yeah, it actually looks really nice. Really pretty.
All right. I think I did pretty good there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not bad. All right. So,
Make that money.
one of these days it's going to work. I swear to God, I'm going to get somebody to join my newsletter. And whomever just signed on, thank you for joining us. I'm not trying to guilt you. I'm just saying it's going to work someday. So I'm going to try her again. And just may have to find a different methodology. But here we go. Do you want a schedule of upcoming episodes and links to missed episodes sent to your email? Then go to supersecretprojectx.com/ericart and sign up for my newsletter at the bottom of the page. And we are back. So maybe that'll work, maybe it won't. I may have to find a new methodology. I still do not understand social media. So Best I can do right now.
Oh my God.
All right, as is tradition in my sketchbook, when two characters face each other, sealed, hermetically sealed together, fresh for eternity, like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. What was I talking about again? God, I'm hungry. Anyways, sealed together with a kiss. Eiko, Biko, you have finally made up. And before anyone accuses me for lining those two up on purpose, I didn't remember what pages were what. I firmly believe there was a possibility that Biko and Seiko could have ended up together, which would have been an ugly affair. Probably also a little funny, too, but Biko finally discovers what a crazy person she is. Wait a minute! This is what I've been lusting after all these years? Yes, Biko. Yes. Yes.
Never dip your wick in crazy.
Anywho, everyone have yourself a good week. We will catch you later.